Lately, I have been seeing this topic everywhere on Sportsnet, on SportsCenter, people making YouTube videos on it, so I wanted to jump in and make a video on it to give my opinion because I think it is a very good argument. You can make an argument for both sides, and it should Elias Pettersson be in consideration to win the Hart Trophy this season. Obviously, he is a rookie, and I definitely think it's a good argument because he definitely is the most valuable player on the Vancouver Canucks, and this is a team coming into the year that literally had zero expectations. Most people, including myself, had them finishing in the bottom 5 teams of the entire NHL, and more than halfway through the season they are still battling for a playoff spot, and if they didn't have Elias Pettersson, they most definitely would not even be close to a playoff spot in my opinion. So that is why I think his name is kind of getting thrown around in talks about the Calder Trophy. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and if I think Elias Pettersson should be considered for the Hart Trophy this season. Taking a quick look at Pettersson's numbers: 44 games played, 25 goals, 23 assists for 48 points. And you got to remember, the Hart Trophy doesn't go to the player who puts up the most points, who scores the most goals. It is awarded to the player who is most valuable to their team in that particular season. And that is why if the Vancouver Canucks somehow end up squeaking into the playoffs, I really think we could see Elias Pettersson be in that Hart Trophy talks throughout the majority of the season and maybe even be a nominee. Another thing I wanted to touch on, to the people saying that Elias Pettersson's Calder Trophy is in jeopardy because of Carter Hart, I really don't buy it. I think Elias Pettersson has had this award locked up, for the past couple of months, and I really don't think it's going to be close. Yes, Carter Hart has came in, and he's been pretty remarkable for the Philadelphia Flyers, but I just really can't see anyone coming close to taking the Calder Trophy away from Elias Pettersson. I just wanted to touch on that, but that is not what the video is about. It is about the Hart Trophy, and I honestly will say if the Vancouver Canucks do end up squeaking into the playoffs, I really could see him, being nominated for this award, being in conversation for this award throughout the majority of the season. Do I think he's going to win it? Definitely not, just because of all the players that are having remarkable seasons on very good teams. You look at a guy like Nikita Kucherov, obviously McKinnon and Rantanen, either of those guys, if that team ends up making the playoffs, could easily be nominated and win the Hart Trophy. But usually the person that wins the Hart Trophy, their team does have to make the playoffs. You look at it last year, Taylor Hall and all those guys, Connor McDavid the year prior when they won or made the playoffs. So, I think it all really relies on if Elias Pettersson can bring this Vancouver Canucks team into the postseason, because this is a team that's been one of the worst teams in the NHL throughout the past 2 years, and this 20-year-old kid just comes in and turns that around, makes them a playoff team, putting up the numbers he is. Obviously, he is going to get some Hart Trophy, recognition. If he can finish with 85 to 90 points, I definitely think we will see Elias Pettersson in that final conversation when the year comes to an end, which is pretty crazy to say. I mean, this kid's a rookie. He had so much hype around him coming into the NHL, and, I kind of was a guy who wasn't really buying it. I thought he'd have a decent year, like put up 50 to 60 points, but Elias Pettersson really has smashed everyone's expectations. He's over a point per game. I think he'll probably finish with around 90 points. Hopefully he does stay healthy, because if he did, he probably would definitely finish with around 90 to 95 points, and then we could really see those Hart Trophy talks really kicking up. But nonetheless, I hope he can stay healthy throughout the rest of the season, and this was a fun video. I wanted to give my thoughts on it because I've seen a lot of people doing it, on Sportsnet and SportsCenter and YouTube videos and all that type of stuff. So I'm very curious to hear what you guys think, especially the Vancouver fans. Hopefully I didn't say anything to piss you guys off, because some of you are ruthless, absolutely, especially on Twitter. But nonetheless, hopefully I didn't piss any Vancouver Canucks fans off, and I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. Do you think Elias Pettersson has the chance to win the Hart Trophy at the end of the season? He's most definitely going to win the Calder Trophy, but like I said, I really do think it all comes down to if this Vancouver Canucks team can make the postseason, because that would be pretty remarkable. I, for one, certainly hope they do. I love when Canadian teams make it in. Like I said, currently they're tied with Minnesota for that last spot, but Minnesota does have 3 games in hand, so it's going to be a dogfight heading down the stretch. If this Vancouver Canucks team can stay healthy, I honestly do think that it's a real possibility that they could squeak into the playoffs. And if anyone had them picked to make the playoffs before the season, I commend you, because that is absolutely unreal. But Elias Pettersson really has just been a revolution for this Vancouver Canucks team, the city, the fan base, the organization, everything like that. You got people talking about the death stare. Like, this is a 20-year-old kid. He's coming in and he's being one of the best players in the NHL already. You got to think that puts a lot of of pressure on him. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Vancouver Canucks, when the season's winding down. But like I said, I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. So make sure to let me know down in the comment section, do you think Elias Pettersson has any chance at winning the Hart Trophy this season? How many points do you think he's going to finish with? Will the Canucks make the playoffs? All that stuff. Make sure to leave it down in the comment section below. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for daily NHL content. And I will see you guys all in the next video.